Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Ruslan G YouTube channel, and in today's video, as you probably know, this is the book club for Brainiacs series. Again, if you've been to the channel before, you probably know what we're doing here. We're going to be breaking down the top books by leaders in every single space, including health, wealth, happiness, business, entrepreneurship, and things like that. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. Some of you guys might have heard of this book because, they have sold over 15 million copies, as you can see here on the cover. And this I bought back maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So they've probably sold millions of copies since then. This book was actually originally published in 1937. So this book has been around for a long, long time. It's been revised since. But pretty much what this book is about is Napoleon interviewed and talked to leaders in their space, very wealthy individuals, gathered all their resources, all their information, and put it into one book. I believe it took about 25 years to write this book, so I hope you enjoy this one. Again, this is something that I believe everyone should know, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you like content like this, hit the like button because this content is all free to you. But if you could at least do that, that would really help me out. So without further ado, let's dive into the lessons of Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. So the first lesson that I'd like to cover in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich is one that we've probably heard a lot in our times, the difference between can't and can. And the way he describes this is a human's ability to think something through and believe in it is the same function that will help them achieve that same goal. Now, if you don't believe in something, or if you don't think that you can do it, that will often give you those same exact results. And if you can think of how you can achieve it, instead of that you can't, right? Just you start thinking about how, and believing in the fact that you can is gonna set you apart from someone that thinks that they can't. So very simply, if you have a mindset of you can, you're gonna be doing a lot better than a mindset of you can't. But the second lesson, so obviously thoughts alone, right? You can't just think yourself to doing something actionable, right? So he says it's important to follow suit with your thoughts with some kind of desire. And if you have a desire for something, right? So you go from thoughts to desire, and when you desire something, that's when he believes that you can take the appropriate action to be able to achieve that desire. So accomplishing something isn't just wanting or thinking about it and making it happen. No, it's the combination of thoughts, desire, and then that will propel you into action. And action is actually the most important element. A lot of people nowadays will say, do, without even putting any, maybe a little bit of thought, but the most important is action. What he says is it's important to have a thought process in mind. You have to have the desire, or else you're gonna fall flat on your face. And then when you take action, it's gonna complete that journey for you, and you're gonna get to the destination a lot faster. So the third lesson in this book is that Napoleon Hill believes that faith is an important step into your success journey. A lot of these leaders, they would say that the only reason that they got to where they were is because they believed. And again, back to the second rule of this book is you got to not just have that belief, you have to have the thoughts, the desire, and the action. And then if you put faith into that same medley, you will end up having a concoction of an unstoppable force. So a good way to execute this, you don't have to believe in, a higher power or anything like that. I'm sure it would help, right? Because then you don't have to undoubtedly think about, should I be faithful in this, that. If you have affirmations that you can put into place, that you can say to yourself daily, right? Whatever they may be. Sometimes it might be, I believe in myself, I'm the hardest worker, I can accomplish anything. Those types of things are the things that you need to put into your mental space. You need to surround yourself with those affirmations, and you need to repeat them daily. And not just repeat them like, and look down, just like, I believe in myself. You gotta really, really feel it, right? That's the only way. And you see Tony Robbins, thought leaders like this, when they get on stage, they really make you feel a certain type of way. And that's because they have what Napoleon Hill talks about, and that is faith. The fourth lesson that he believes in is to have specialized knowledge. Now, we all know what generalized knowledge is, whether we think we do or not. Just for the purposes of this video, I'm going to explain it to you. So essentially what generalized knowledge is something that you can learn at a university, at a college, at a high school, It's pretty much, if you've been to college, you've heard the term, I need to get my generals first, right? The first 2 years of school is typically, I'm gonna go into school and pretty much relearn or learn something new, but essentially about the same subject that I learned in high school and junior high. And it's just gonna be maybe a step up or kind of just a sideways step, just to kind of remember, refresh what exactly I learned back then. And now in college, the first 2 years are generalized knowledge, right? Specialized knowledge, and this is what he gets into, and he mentioned specialized knowledge is something that you can't just learn at a university. Yes, you can maybe study this subject at a university. Maybe you can study this at a trade school. But to get that specialized knowledge, you need to go above and beyond. You need to read books. You need to watch videos. You need to listen to podcasts. You need to practice it. You need to get that knowledge that most universities just can't give to you right out the gate, right? Even if you spend 2-3 years at a university, there are certain things that when you go into the workforce, you're not gonna know because the university taught you. You actually have to learn those on your own. And so if you go and search for those outside of school, outside of traditional education, typically you're gonna find that, and it's gonna become a lot easier, and you're gonna be able to get that specialized knowledge that Hill talks about in this book. The fifth, and I think personally the most important lesson that I derived from this book, was the use of imagination.
Imagination.
And now we all have creative brains, whether we like to admit it or not. Some of us are more logical, but we all have some sort of creative input or output, right? So if you paint, if you draw or you used to draw, right? Or you're just great writing and, you get into this creative flow. That's what he's talking about. So there's something called synthetic imagination. So this is something that you create through your experiences, through failures, through successes, right? So something that is created by your environment. So this is where he talks about something a little bit more interesting, where he says that is great and dandy, and that will get you, through life, the synthetic imagination. But what he says is really special is when you get to a space where you have creative imagination. What's the difference, right? What do you mean by creative imagination? Isn't imagination just all, one type of source of input, output, flow, right? No, what he mentions is creative imagination is something that, you have your thoughts, right? You have your desire, right? And then you create this plan, you write it down, and then all of a sudden, your brain will then come up with these ideas and thought patterns, and subconsciously maybe even work on these problems or the solutions to these problems in your own mind, right? And again, we don't really know where it could just be in our own heads. It could be the universe. It could be a higher power. We have no idea what it is, but he says that is one of the most important, powerful tools that we have in our tool belt as far as achieving success. And again, this is not just him speaking. This is individuals that started from scratch. These are people that had nothing when they started their life journey. They didn't have a silver spoon in their mouth. They didn't have a golden spoon in their mouth, nothing like that. And they ended up having millions of dollars by the end of their life cycle, right? So that's powerful when you think about it. And this is one of the things that they say is important. So last but not least, one of the biggest lessons that I learned from this book is you need to have what's called a Mastermind alliance. So if you've heard of Alexander the Great, he had a knight's table, round table, right? Where he would sit down with his greatest captains, his generals. He would sit down, I believe it was a table of 12, right? And he would sit down with them and he would discuss, certain strategies, certain war tactics, certain plans to conquer. And he was one of the greatest conquerors of all time. And this is what Hill talks about in this book, is he says, hey, if you have a mastermind alliance like this, where like-minded people come around, whether it's once a week, once a month, even once a year, whatever it may be, once a quarter, you guys sit down, and it could be ladies, gentlemen, it doesn't matter who it is. What matters is you are a like-minded individual with a very similar mindset, with a similar goal in mind. You don't need to sit down with all your marketing friends, right? If you're a marketer and you sit down with, a marketer and then a creative person, a business manager, an accountant, a sales manager, you get all these people together and you come up with this great team. And that is your mastermind alliance. And that's what's gonna get you from point A to point Z, not point A, B, C. You're not gonna go slowly trickle down that path. You're actually gonna be able to get multiple people's inputs. And if they follow what's in this book, and if you point your mastermind alliance into this direction, right? And you say, hey, look, watch this video or read this book, and I'm gonna link the book down below. And also, if you've made it this far, if you don't mind going to the bio, and if you want to have access to any of these books back here that I have, this is a motivational, inspirational booklet, quotes from greatest leaders, just kind of get you hyped up throughout the day when you're feeling, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. You read this, you're ready to go. And the other thing that I have, again, I'm not sponsored, we don't have a lot of subscribers, we don't make a lot of money on YouTube. So I wanted to share what I created. This is another thing, the Epic Freedom Journal. This is for the new you, right? So this is something that, you can sit down with people, like-minded people. You can do it yourself. If you're, the only one that that's goal-oriented, get yourself one of these. I'm going to link it down in the bio below, and you can get it on Amazon. It will ship to you within 2 or 3 business days. Pretty much, it's really, really simple, right? You have your weeks. It's going to give you tasks that can be done throughout the day. You can pretty much list, it's like a bucket list. You list anything that can be done this week, right? Very short-term goals, because if you can do things in the short term, you can get bigger things done in the long term, right? And then, you have your days, right? Each day of the week, you can even if you skip a day, it doesn't matter, right? You put down, it's better that you can stay consistent, because that's how you form habits. So today I'm grateful for this, number one daily focus, other important tasks. This can be done in your free time. Notes, ideas, inspiration, rewards. And then last but not least is at the end of the day, you put your productivity score here, circle the one that best applies and maybe why, or how you can do better, or that you're proud of yourself. Do this, and it's going to go along exactly with what Napoleon Hill wants you to do, because again, you're grateful, right? You can write down your daily affirmations here, or inspirations, or rewards, right? You can do your daily task. You can do your multiple tasks. Anyway, if you have a moment, go check that out. I highly recommend. Let's get back into Napoleon Hill. If you have that Mastermind Alliance already built, great. Now, most of us don't. So what I suggest, and this is just personal experience, is I would reach out to your colleagues, maybe your friends, maybe your family, and just say, hey, go check out this book. Tell me what you think. So if you can do that, right, and you can build a relationship based off of that, and then they maybe come back to you and say, hey, look, let's do something together, right? Maybe let's just have a sit down once a week. And now you're forming a relationship past the bounds of just, hey, we're just friends, da-da-da. No, you're creating your alliance. And then you get, like I said, you get another person that might be in a different industry, might be doing something else, but they're passionate about what they want to do. They can be joining on your team. Hey, can I bring Bob over, right? He has a similar mindset. He wants to do this, he wants to do that. He's very passionate. We can set that up. I just want you to become a happier, healthier, and wealthier person. And that was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Hope you enjoyed this one. And if you like videos like this, go hit the like button, because that helps out the channel. Comment down below if there's a book that you'd like me to do, buy and read, and then do one of these for you. And if this is your first time to the channel, if you made it all the way through, good job. I'm proud of you. You should already be subscribed. Go hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I post, and you'll be the first one to know. And tell all your friends, because I think this is the greatest channel for your personal development and for your future. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I wish you all the best, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Bye.